All right, so this is my developer video for game 3 showing all the requirements. I've got a checklist here that we'll check off as we go. So starting with the main character, I have a custom model mesh that I made here. And not sculpt, shoot, sorry. Here's my mesh that I made. It's got a mirror modifier on it. And you can see we've got more than 10 bones. I'm not going to count them all, but I think that's pretty obvious looking at the model here. So there's the custom model, at least 2 materials. So he's got a tunic, skin, and wings. That's these here. That's pretty straightforward. These ones I checked earlier, not checking off for some reason, but anyway, there's the 10 bones. I'll show you the animations in Unreal, but here's just one. It's the attack animation in Blender, and we'll go ahead and look at how that translated in the engine. So here's attack. I sped it up a little bit for gameplay. I also have a fall animation where his wings are kind of shaking in the wind. A flap animation, so if you're mid-air and you hit jump again, as long as you have enough stamina, you can jump again and kind of fly higher. Here's the idle. He's kind of rocking back and forth on his legs, and the wings move a little bit. Jump actually lowers him down on the ground a little bit, and then he presses off and flaps his wings. I have a run and a walk. So we'll see all those in the gameplay in a second. So let me go ahead and drag this over here. All right, so there's the animations. Like I said, this one doesn't check, but we'll look at the state machine. Let's see, I've got that. Here we go. All right, so he can transition between idle, walk, and run based off speed. And then from any of those, he can jump. So we see these transitions. I'm just requesting a jump. So I kind of had to do a anim notify to do that delay in the jump so he doesn't just immediately jump off the ground. So I request a jump, and when the anim notify fires, it makes him jump. So that works on any of those if you're standing still or moving. Then after a jump, you transition into the fall. And fall will go back to walk, and depending on your speed, you can go either direction. Additionally, if you request another jump and you have enough stamina, you can flap mid-air until you run out of stamina, and then you'll go back to fall and back to kind of your ground motion. And then from any of the ground movement or while you're falling, you can attack. So there's that state machine. I didn't do a blend space. I was just kind of running out of time on that. So you'll notice that the walk animation, the feet at a certain speed kind of match up, but at other speeds it doesn't. So, all right, so like I said, I can't check that one off. So let's look at the gameplay real quick. It is a third person. I'm just gonna jump right in and skip the start screen just for this video. But you see I've got a third person here. I'm actually going to go on my controller so I can kind of change the speed, but there's the walk animation. You speed up, there's run, you can attack, you can jump off the ground, and you see that fall where the wings wiggle a little bit, and then there's flapping. So there's all that. And yeah, it is third person, keyboard, mouse input. So this is on a controller. You can see kind of the smooth joystick movement. There's right trigger to attack, left trigger to jump, or A, either one. On the keyboard, you notice that the motions are a little sharper, ASDW, the mouse movement changes the camera angle, and you can interact with the right mouse button, right mouse click. So see I've got to interact here. I'm not going to do it just yet because I want to talk about what it does. And then on the controller, it's X, or the left gamepad button. So let's jump out of this real quick and pause. So there's that. keyboard or mouse input. I'll actually show you that real quick too. So here's all the input, you know, gamepad input, mouse input, movement input. I got rid of the default VR stuff since we're not using that. Got some jump stuff, attack, and a quick game if you hit the select button on an Xbox controller or escape on the keyboard. Let's see, and we'll show the interaction now. So I think there's one other thing I wanted to mention here. Actually, real quick before I do that. So there's two custom models right here. It's kind of why I went to this area. So I made this fireball, and this is kind of part of the story. You have to extinguish these flames so that your wings don't melt. So Icarus wings are kind of held together by wax. And as you extinguish these bowls, there's 5 of them, the temperature in the dungeon goes down, and eventually if you extinguish all of them, your wing lifespan stops ticking. So anyway, in Blender, here is the fireball that I made. I also made the jar that's sitting next to it, but not the pillar. So, whoops. So this one I just grabbed from Sketchfab, but this model is mine here. And then also his sword. So I modeled that, and you can see that right here. So there's definitely 3 custom models here. And let's see, mouse input interacts with the environment. So let's look at that real quick. Okay, so if I, I didn't possess my character, that's why. Okay. So if I right click, you see it extinguishes the flame. If I attack, you can knock over that pot of incense. And what those do is, you might not have seen it, but the wing lifespan ticks down over time. It starts out losing 5 every tick, which I think I made it a second. I kind of forget, but it ticks down 5, and then every time you extinguish a flame, you tick by 1 less. So now it's ticking at 4. That slows down. Once you extinguish all of the fireballs, then it stops ticking altogether. We'll see that kind of toward the end of this video. Every time you knock over one of those pots of sleeping incense, your stamina increases by 1. So you start out with the ability to jump 3 times. Now that I've knocked that over and got rid of the sleeping incense, you can jump 4 times. So we'll go ahead and tick that one. I've got my, let me click back into here. So I've got my modular level pieces. It's just kind of real basic. Got kind of a corner piece with the floor and walls and a ceiling. Got like a straight piece and an end piece. Got some like vertical pieces over here, and you can kind of see how I put all those together. And then in this bigger chamber, I just used a bunch of floors and walls and ceilings. So yeah, there's all that. You kind of start in this dungeon area over here and then work your way to the final door up here, which is where our win condition is. So let's click that. Different pickup objects. So that was the fireball and the sleeping incense. And let me show you how that, I thought there was something on here. Yeah, so your health, shield, field progress bars, pickups change these values. So let's go ahead and check that before I lose that, and I'll show you that in the game. Okay, so now that I've interacted with this, like I said, we started out with 3 stamina, and you'll see that I now have 4. Okay, so let's go in here, and if I, whoops, no, I got to possess, there we go. So now if I jump, notice I can jump 4 times instead of 3, and the wing lifespan, you can kind of watch the gameplay video to see where I actually stopped that from ticking altogether. All right. So the puzzle problem to solve or something to accomplish, basically it's just an escape, kind of escape this maze. And you'll notice like some things are kind of higher than others. Like you start out here and you can jump up with 3 jumps to kind of about this height here, but you can't quite make it over this jump. So part of the puzzle is finding these incense jars, so you can get rid of the sleeping incense, and the idea is you get more stamina, so you're able to fly higher. So there's another one down here, and eventually you can actually fly up this tunnel here and out into this main room, where you really need to fly far to get to some of these higher ones, these other fireballs. And like I said, the puzzle is to find those and get enough jumps so that you can make it to the end of the level, and also extinguish these fireballs so you don't melt your wings and lose the game. So you can see all the materials, all the objects have materials applied to them. You saw the heads-up display, which was pretty simple. It's just the wing lifespan and the stamina, and then any kind of messages as you interact with stuff. So we've got a start screen. I'll come back to that one, just because I don't want to reload this level right now, but I'll come back to that in a second. As well as with the win and lose condition, we'll see those. Variable light source, so let's talk about that real quick. So all of the torches in here are variable light sources. They are on a timeline, a flickering timeline that sets the intensity, and you can see it's just kind of erratic. I didn't want to make it like completely on and off, just for the aesthetic. So we'll play that and you'll kind of see how that works. So notice it's kind of flickering in and out. I try to make it similar to how like a torch flame would look. So let's exit out of that. Let's see, variable light source. You saw the timeline to affect lighting. I've also got one for the door. So at the very end of the level, if you've found all the torches and your wing lifespan decrement rate is 0. So once you are no longer losing wing lifespan, you're able to open the door, and that just kind of rotates open. So here's the timeline. It kind of opens slow, opens fast, and then tapers back off as it reaches its maximum rotation. We'll actually look at the win condition. So in order to win, you have to make it past the door. I'm going to modify my character real quick so I don't have to play the level. So we'll say that I've got all of the fireballs extinguished, and let's go ahead and fly over here and up here. All right, so the win condition is after you pass this trigger here, past the door, but you do have to get the fireballs to be able to open the door, which I kind of just cheated now to do. And you'll see this is on a timeline. It opens up, and if you walk through there, you hit the win screen. So then you're able to go back to the main menu. So this is the start screen. So here's my start screen, at least one menu item. I've got start game and exit. And let's go ahead and start the game, and I'm back. So, and then we'll go ahead and modify, let's click these real quick, win condition, start screen. So to see the lose condition, I'll modify my character so that his decrement rate is way higher. So it's normally 5 to begin with until you just extinguish the bowls. Let's set it to 100. And you can watch the wing lifespan tick down quite a bit faster and get to the lose screen. So there it is, ticking away. It might take a second after it's totally out because the level has a tick that's checking for the lose condition, and it's only like every 5 seconds. So we get this game over screen. It's kind of like melted wax since his wings fell apart. And we can exit or return to main menu. So there's that. Let's see, there's the lose condition. We saw the timeline moving the, flickering the lights or moving the door. So I've also got a story. Let's see, where did I put that? So under my main HUD, I've got this message number that I'm switching on, and the intro scene, which I'm not going to show in this video. It's in it's at the very start of the gameplay video. You can see kind of the storyline that I have here, and these just switch through on a timer. So if you want to read that, you can kind of go into that video. But just the backstory, how he got in the maze, kind of what the goal is without giving away the puzzles too much. And then of course there's the interaction messages. So if you extinguish a fireball, it tells you how many remain, and that your wings seem to be softening slower than before. So it slows down the decay of your wing lifespan. And then, if you get the last flame, it's a separate message saying that you're no longer, the wax isn't melting any longer. And then if you get to the door at the end, it tells you all the flames have to be extinguished before it can be opened and won't let you in. So there's kind of a little bit of a backstory there. And like I said, if you want to see those actually play out, you can kind of watch the gameplay video. It's like right at the beginning. So if you're watching this video, of course, you'll see that this is posted to itch.io. You'll see the screenshots there. You'll see this developer video, which I'm recording right now. And then the gameplay video that I'm talking about. So there's all of that. So then back to these extra requirements. Let's go over here. So I've got all of these fireballs have a particle system for fire. So there is that. And then as on top of that, let's go over to the sleeping incense actually has, it's a steam, but I changed the kind of the darkness of it so you can see it a little better against these white walls. And that all disappears after you knock these over. So we do have particles, and I guess this is kind of a lighting effect, so you can kind of see it reflecting off stuff. So there's that. I don't have any sound effects. In here, my character performs a attack animation, so that's not, that wasn't the basic movement that we talked about in class. Oh shoot, I kind of made his decay rate really fast, but you can see that attack anytime I left click or hit right trigger. And like I said, I don't have a blend space, and that was it. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that covered everything sufficiently. Thanks for watching.